'Cause she's the girl. She's the girl. She's the girl, yeah. Oh yeah. She's the girl.
My name is Nancy, and this was my big case.
Detox, 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 detox.
Look!
It's the guy.
Dave, do something.
Do something like what?
Go after him?
Go after him? What am I supposed to do when I catch him?
Oh, you are so exasperating. And take off that ridiculous hat.
Why didn't you go after him?
My friend found out some more information about sodium Fahrenheit. But even more interesting, I made a trip to the Hall of Records. I got all kinds of information about the Bates will.
And they just gave you this information.
Well, I had to convince them I was a family member. Now listen, it turns out that Betty Bates was the primary beneficiary of the Bates estate, but there was a secondary beneficiary, should she not collect her inheritance.
Like if she was in prison.
That's right. And the secondary beneficiary was Sandra Carlson.
I knew it.
What else did you find out about sodium Fahrenheit?
It was used in the process of making some types of diet pills, and it was attached to some weird straight-laced occult group during the 1950s. That never amounted to anything. It is toxic, but the only way to ingest it so that it's not noticeable is by mixing it with milk.
Wait a minute. When Tweed was telling us all he knew about sodium Fahrenheit, he mentioned red blood cells, dilutants, and lactose. Lactose is milk, right?
I think he did say that.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Dave, you got sick right after you drank that milk. At the sugar shack. If you hadn't have spilled it, you would have been dead right now.
That's a pleasant thought.
But that was your milk, Nancy.
Sandra Carlson. Sandra Carlson knew I was involved with the case, and she wanted me out of the way. She poisoned my milk to kill me.
Hold on. How would Sandra Carlson know you were on the case?
Sandra Carlson wouldn't. But Bill Carlson would.
How?
Remember the first time we went to the sugar shack? You told the waitress that you were on the case and that your dad was defending Betty Bates.
So the waitress told Bill what I said, and they conspired to murder me.
But why would the waitress tell Bill what you said?
Unless she was involved.
They were having an affair.
Of course. Remember the way the waitress was so resentful of how Sandra treated her husband? It all makes sense.
And remember the black and white photos hanging on the wall? The waitress said Bill took the one of Lyndon Johnson. I bet if you did some digging, you'd find that Bill Carlson is still into black and white photography.
Bill Carlson planted that photography magazine so that Sandra would find it. He knew she was suspicious of Betty Bates anyway, and finding the magazine with the underlined passage about sodium Fahrenheit confirmed the suspicions.
He must have also taken the bottle of sodium Fahrenheit. The fact that it wasn't there is more incriminating than if it was. If the crime lab got a hold of it, they might have been able to prove that it wasn't the same concentration that killed Robert Bates.
Something doesn't make sense. How does all this fit into the fact that Sandra Carlson was the secondary beneficiary of the Bates estate?
Because if Sandra doesn't inherit her brother's estate, it will go to her husband.
Why wouldn't Sandra inherit the estate?
Because Bill and the waitress are planning on murdering Sandra Carlson. So the soda jerk is a desperate criminal. Janelle, you and I are going to the courthouse. You tell the police all that we know. I'll tell my dad. Dave, you go warn Sandra.
How about I go to the police and you go warn Sandra?
You don't even know my dad, and it'll take two of us. And we don't have time for this. Just do it.
I tell you what, how about we all go to the police and they'll take care of the whole thing?
Don't argue. Dave Dickinson, when someone's life is in the balance, do you just stand there? Ugh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This isn't helping at all. All right. I'm going to go out to the front yard and relieve myself. And when I come back, we're going to talk about this rationally.
Compose yourself.
What's so funny?
I think you wanted to say, compose yourself.
What did I say?
You said you were going out to the front yard to relieve yourself.
What I meant.
I'll feel better after I go out to the front yard and relieve myself.
Hey, look.
Round of applause, heavenly creatures on yours, ready to take off today. A knowing look at the skies, I wave my final goodbyes and fly to centuries day. I will be pleasures and friends with 7 arms and 6 heads up in the great galaxy. Alice is scoring a plane and Marion is the same. The sky is all I can see.
This is a good picture of you.
It's not me. It's my mom.
You look a lot alike.
My dad was a photographer before he became a lawyer. He took a lot of pictures of her. But I've never seen these before.
Houston, let me go. I don't want it soon, I want it now. Wide open space, I'm coming. Goodbye, goodbye.
Hey, look at this.
Sodium Fahrenheit. We've been looking for sodium Fahrenheit this whole time. It's been right under our noses.
But how'd it get in here?
She just said her father was a photographer.
Wow, look at all this stuff.
Captain K, 10 years old. Let's go.
I bet there's a Ouija board in here somewhere.
These don't look like games. This stuff is seriously spooky. Hey, listen to all this. Time portals? Chronology permutations? Look at this drawing. It looks like some sort of map. Guardian guides and travelers. The Chartmaster? Ah, this one's my favorite. Resurrection through reincarnation. Give me that map again.
Resurrection through reincarnation. This is creepy, even to me. The journey. The lost soul will be transported into the next generation. The traveler will pass through the time portal and may aid, but only without knowing. What does that mean? The traveler cannot coexist in the same time period.
Same time period as what?
It doesn't say, but there's more. The traveler will pass into the future to meet the lost soul, but not without creating a chronology permutation that will bring pertinent events from the last generation to the present time. Only one from the future can walk the lost soul over the threshold. The guardian guide may only commune with the one from the future until the journey is complete, and for this they shall all receive a lasting reward.
Well, that's nice.
The Chartmaster. Only a very wise one may be called the Chartmaster. The Chartmaster will not pass through the time portal, but will live briefly in the future and learn about the past by gazing into the amulet.
The amulet?
It's a charm, a lucky piece.
Weird. Do you know anything about this?
Is my birth certificate in here?
Looks like these two folders had the only papers. Just containers and these kinds of things. What did you find?
I need my birth certificate.
They might have a copy of it at the hospital. Well, which one were you born in?
I don't know.
Too young to remember, huh?
Ending waits on the brief beginning. Is the prize worth the stress of winning?
I didn't know you could drive.
Is that what you call this?
Look out! Are you all right?
How can a normal human being go through life not knowing what happened to the most important person in their life?
What's wrong?
You think you know someone, but you don't know.
Can you at least tell us where we're going?
E'en in the dawning, day is done. All things must end that have begun.
Get you moving again. I don't wanna